Hey, Real Fam. Hope you're doing great. Welcome to the Real Fam. Welcome to my channel. Yes, welcome to the Real Fam. I was actually right. So, if you decide to subscribe to this channel, just know that you will officially be the Real Fam. All right. So, Real Talk with Ntabi is a channel that empowers you, that transforms you. It helps you to find that best version of yourself. It helps you to understand how to do things. It helps you to figure out how things work here on YouTube, in life in general, in the technology side of things, how to be creative, how to get up and take up spaces. So there's just so much that it does. So I'm hoping that if you're new, you're gonna consider subscribing to the channel and really being a part of the family. And obviously, not just subscribing, making sure that the notification bell is on and making sure that you become an engaging subscriber. All right. It's so important to understand the importance of engagement. All right. Anyway, I'm not gonna give you a lecture. I'm just gonna shoot straight and tell you more about today's show. And of course, if you're watching from Facebook, I love you a lot. Thank you so much for the love. Please consider coming to YouTube. Please consider being a part of the YouTube space as well. The name is Real Talk with Ntabi on YouTube. Just search for that or just check on my timeline. I'm sure there's tons and tons of links that will redirect you to my channel. It's that easy. Anyway, let's just go straight into the conversation of the day. So today we're talking the best ways to really find your niche, right? So I'm hoping that these conversations will be nice and short. Hey, Pindi, good to see you. I see you, Queen. I see you there. I see you there. Hey there. Hey, Queen. I love your voice. Really? Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm going to listen to myself after this. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, we're really going to shoot straight to the conversation of the day. So, the topic is best way to find your niche, right? Understanding the core values of your personal brand. Now, obviously, finding your niche, or especially when you are a content creator or when you aspire to create content and all of that, it becomes difficult for you to really choose your niche or to decide where you want to fall on, right? The kind of content you want to create. And it's at the beginning, it might be okay to just be all over the place, but in the long run, it somehow affects you. And I'm saying this because I'm also learning a lot of things. I mean, I create content, I work with specific brands, and I still want to work and grow with more and more brands. And the more I want to position myself with such brands, I'll need to make sure that my content somehow speaks to those kind of brands that I want to attract. So even my community as well. So sometimes we obviously thinking of the brands and all of that, but we forget that for your brand or for the brands to actually see the engagements on your community tab, I mean on your what on your feed, on your stories, on your posts, and all of that. For them to see all of that, it has to come from somewhere. And where does it come from? It comes from your audience. So your audience become the most important part of whatever that you're creating. I hope you understand that. Your audience the most are the most important people, the best part, because they are the consumers. By the way, do you like my water jar? So I actually used the Cricut vinyl to, put this text here. Enjoy every sip. So one day soon I'll be showing you how to use Cricut and telling you all about it, okay? Yeah, I've been quite busy, but I'm gonna do that with you. soon. All right. Okay. So where was I? Now, your audience, I mean, you guys are the most important people right now. If you were not here watching this video right now, I I would probably be wondering and being like, will I get someone watching? Will I get someone engaging and all of that? Obviously, it would be a bit of a concern because you are the consumer, right? So it's the same thing with any type of content you create. Your audience is very important. Now, when I was just going through the core values of my personal brand, I thought, you know what, let me share this with my audience and kind of pick their brains and make them aware of this, the core values, and make them aware how important or what bigger role they play, right? Okay, I see my friend, best friend. Okay, this is Tsulu Felo Sekhatle, who is commenting from Facebook. Hey, my friend, good to see you here. Thank you so, so much. Love and appreciate you. So, one thing that we realized, or okay, let me just take it back to individuals that feel like my content is really not doing great, or I'm struggling to figure out what I should do and everything, right? So when I was going through my core values for my personal brand, I thought about you guys and I felt like, no, maybe I can help you because maybe you are struggling to niche down and you're wondering what should I focus on and everything. And now I want you to maybe pause a little bit on trying to figure out what your niche is as yet. Rather, understand the core values of your personal brand. Now, what are we talking about when we're talking about the core values, right? So first of all, what defines your brand? What is your brand story, right? What speaks to your brand? What does your brand believe in? What does your brand stand for, right? So there are different core values. Like the different core values, you know what? I kind of made a list, but it's a lot. It's a lot. But core values is simply what you want to be known for, basically. So if you create content on wisdom, you want people to know that. If you are an authentic content creator, you want people to actually see that, right? So meaning you take people through your life, they take people through your journey in just almost everything that you're doing. Well, maybe not everything, but most of the content that you're doing, and you give it as it is. You are real, you're authentic, and all of that, right? And you even communicate authenticity in the process. So it's quite a lot. Also, um, what are the things that you do? What are the things that you do that you believe in your content? Are you a passionate person about the kind of content that you create, right? So your credibility, you think of a lot of things, right? So with me, I'm a creative person. I mean, what stands out for me is creativity. And of course, authenticity is also the number, well, I should put it at the first, like as the first one. Authenticity. Um, I don't call my brand Real Talk with Ntabi for nothing. It's Real Talk because it's real. We having real conversations, real talk. You understand? So we are as real as possible, and we don't just share what we don't know, right? It's so important to understand that what we share on this platform or any other platform, it has to come from a space of honesty, a space of knowledge, or a place of research and all of that. You don't just wake up and just tell people things that are just not even it. So it's so important. You can't just wake up and just feed your audience with, I'm going to say this, garbage. And garbage is content that is not clarified, content that is not real, and all of that. And maybe I stand to be corrected with that word, but also, like obviously, sometimes you would have information only to find that it's false information. If that's the case, obviously you stand to be corrected, and you're able to come back to your audience to say, hey, what I told you was actually not that way. It was actually this way. So it's so important that you do that. And that's how you build those core values. Your honesty. Are you honest with your audience? How honest are you with your audience? To your audience, right? Are you honest? Are you real? If, I mean, I'm a YouTuber. You're probably a YouTuber, and you tell your audience that you are gonna give them this, give them that, and then you don't do it. You see that you are somehow breaking that promise. That is, somehow tampering with your brand, because you are giving what empty promises, right? And I know that I might be speaking from the what a broader point of view, but at the same time, I'm also human. There are times where I would say, I'm gonna post this and that, and then life happens, I'm unable to do that. Or the editing gets to me. Cause child, editing a YouTube video, whew, can someone who edits their YouTube videos comment right now and tell me exactly how they they feel when they have to do all of that? It's good, it's nice to record, to capture, and all of that, but the editing, child, it's a lot. Like, I'm telling you right now, I've got tons and tons of videos, some from October, that I haven't edited, and it's a lot. It's a lot, but never the case. Nevertheless, rather, we move and we will edit them eventually, right? So it's a lot. Now let's speak about the importance of your core values. Consistency. You can be that person who says, I'm promising my audience to be consistent, or not necessarily your audience, you're promising yourself, because sometimes we need to put aside the audience a little bit, because often we want to push ourselves because we know that our audience expects this from us. What are you expecting from yourself? What are you willing to do for yourself, for your brand? What are you willing to do to make sure that you elevate your personal brand? All right. So let's assume that you are only starting on social media. You have no followers, you have no content, and you've got nothing, right? So assume that is where you're going to start. Like, that is the start point. Are you going to say that I need to be consistent because my audience are expecting content when you don't even have an audience? No, you are going to say, I'm going to be consistent so that I can create great content that will attract great audience, right? So you will put in the work. That's what you will do. So how often do we put in the work without actually thinking of the impact it has on another person? I think it's high time we also give ourselves a space where we think of ourselves, think of how the work that we do impact us personally. Because remember, you're building a personal brand. You're not doing it for just anyone. You're doing it for yourself, right? You're doing it for yourself. And I'm learning so much from a lot of content creators, and what I constantly see on their platforms is obviously the consistency that they have, and also you get to see how they keep their word, and how they put in the work in whatever that they do, right? So obviously I draw inspiration from that, and I'm like, actually, I really want to up my game. I really want to do best and everything. So And for me to do that is to go back to the drawing board and do what? Check what my core values are. So, you don't have to have a lot. Basically, you don't have to have a lot. I mean, for me, for example, I'm going to point out three at least. I'm going to point out creativity. I'm going to point out what? Authenticity. I'm going to point out empowerment, right? So, my core value is to empower as well, right? So it can be a lot, but I'm just gonna point out those three. So out of those three, I know for a fact that okay, so as a creative, it's important for me to come up with creative ways to attract my audience, creative ways to keep my audience engaged in whatever that I do, right? And to have a certain tone for my content. It's so important to have a specific tone for your content. So that you don't get to lose your audience, right? I know that this is something that might be a bit heavy tone. What are you talking about? So all I'm saying is that with your content, try by all means to somehow have a structure or some kind of way to be known for something, you know. So when they see woman empowerment, they know that, oh, okay, Tabi is more about woman empowerment. When they see something about what, being a creative, you probably fall in that area as well. So it's so important to have that identity, right? So yes, niching down eventually will actually work wonders for you, but I know that that might be a difficult thing to do, especially if you're trying to discover yourself. I know, can be very difficult. Hey, Cebu. um, saying hi to Pindi. Good to see you, Cebu. Thank you for joining. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a minute. Hey, it's been a minute, and I must say, this is probably gonna be the last live that I'm gonna do in a while. Probably the next live will be in December. I know, I know, I know, I know. I think I want to try by all means to put out a lot of content that I haven't put out. So I know live videos are actually great because they just save you time. When you're done with the live, you're done. You're done. You don't need to edit anything and all of that. But yeah, that's just a lot. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, right? So I'm not gonna really dwell much into all of this. I just really wanted to help you understand that when you build your personal brand, you need to understand that this is something that is too personal to you, and it has to be defined in the most simplest way. And the most simplest ways is to look at what you do, what you get to do each and every day of your life. When you wake up, when you set up your day, what is it that you do? And how do you aim to even accomplish all of that, right? And what do you aim what do you like, what is that thing that you want people to take out of everything that you're doing? Because yeah, it's one thing to do, but if you don't have what that whole objective of why you're doing it, or what other people will benefit from it, then it's like you are just doing and doing, and if there are not results coming, you will just be okay because you didn't have a bigger goal of what you're doing, right? Now, yesterday, I'm going to take you back to the conversation that I had with, you know, on one of the podcasts that I did on Instagram. So one of the, let's see if we have comments. Um, let's see if we've got comments. Okay, sorry, I just want to check if we've got other comments here on Facebook because child, they don't want to come to Facebook. People don't want to come to YouTube. I mean, All right. So what I wanted to point out is that when we spoke about personal branding yesterday, we also touched on the well-being of your personal brand. So it's so important to understand that your personal brand needs to help you to just be your best self, to be your happy self. And your personal brand needs to help you, deal with just anything that you come across. And it has to somehow protect you in the process. And for you to protect yourself, there has to be boundaries, principles, and there has to be things that you allow and things that you do not allow. So, what do I mean by that? So, if someone had to come to you and tell you that, hey, your brand sucks, your brand is not that great, or whatever that you're doing, whatever business that you're doing is not great, or homemade by Cebu, someone deciding to tell you that your DIYs are just not great. So, obviously, excuse me, obviously, that is the brand that you've created. That is something that you're doing that you love. So, the biggest question is, are you going to allow me or someone else to tell you that you're not good enough? Are you going to allow someone else to tell you that your work is not that great? Are you going to allow someone else to kind of dictate your next move or your next step? Are you going to do that? Are you going to do that? So, your personal brand, it means that it's personal, but at the same time, it's seen by everyone, all right? It's seen by everyone because what you present is exactly what your brand stands for. And what your brand stands for will also be determined by your type of reaction to situations, right? Your type of the influence that you have in every situation. So it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot, and I'm hoping that I'm not confusing you because the biggest and most important thing right now that I want you to take note of is those core values. So this is a question that I'm asking you. What are the core values of your personal brand? My core values, number one, is to, be creative, to make sure that I empower, to be authentic in what I do, right? There's actually so much more that I can talk about, but um, I believe that that is something that I can give, right? That is something that I give, and I can give my knowledge. I can give my intellectual. I can give my what? I can give you my energy. Like I can give you just the best of me, right? So that's why it's so important to always understand that when you do something, do it the best way possible. Don't just do it because you have to do it. Don't just say, "Oh, I have to create this video because I have to create it." Like it needs to be done. So I don't have a choice. I need to create it. You need to want to do something. I hope you understand. You must want it. There's a question that says, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And how bad are you willing to give it? Right? So as much as you want it, is has to equal the same way you give it. So if you want it that bad, you gotta make sure that when you give out your best, you bring your A game all the way. Yes, there are times where you feel like, yo, I'm not at my best. I mean, right about now, I'm a little bit exhausted, but I had the energy to really have this conversation with you. And I had my points, obviously, noted down, knowing exactly what I was going to talk about. I just didn't decide to just say, let me just go and speak to my audience. No, this is something that has been in mind from actually yesterday, because this was a similar conversation we had yesterday, right? So I felt like, no, I need to speak to my people. I need to, provoke their thoughts a little bit and make them think. You need to start thinking. You need to start thinking. You need to start thinking exactly. At least mention three things that you can say. They somehow, um, you know, define your core values of your personal brand, right? So, personal brand, like I said, it's work that you need to do from within. You need to believe it from within that, hey, this is me, this is what I'm about, this is what I believe in. So that even when you go out there, already you have had that self introspection, that conversation with self, which is the most important conversation. I mean, yesterday on our live stream, there's a guy called Trash Can Waves, that's his YouTube channel, and he mentioned that the most valuable asset is what? Is yourself. So the most valuable asset is yourself. If you're not going to invest in yourself, then there's a problem. If you not going to if you're not going to take note of the fact that investing in yourself is the biggest part of building that personal brand, then you have another thing coming. Have another thing coming. I'm sorry, I have to tell you this. You have another thing coming. And building a brand or building a strong brand, it doesn't need you to go and study somewhere. Sometimes you need to just pause a little bit, maybe even take a drive, go to an environment that will allow you to just have a moment of quietness where you will start talking to yourself and asking yourself, who am I? What do I want? What do I stand for? What makes me tick? What makes me want to get up and kick those blankets and make things happen? What would want to make me push even throughout the night? What is that passion? What is that passion, right? So those are your core values. You need to identify them. And after identifying them, you will need to somehow turn them into what? Something great, something that will benefit you, right? Because as much as we can do and do and do, we also need to have something to bring something to the table, right? I used to do. I used to speak at events, do things for free and all of that until I got to a point where, no. Did I even tell you that right about now, my IL design company, when you want to speak to me about your brand or get ideas about your brand, I, this this is consultation on its own. So I am going to charge you for that. I'm going to need you to pay me to engage with you on the kind of ideas that you have in mind. And obviously, me helping you execute those, that is my mind, my time, so I deserve that money. So I used to do up until I realized that no, I'm at a great level where I need to also, something must give. You need to monetize your skills. So you need to always and look at the bigger picture. Even when you look at those core values, look at the bigger picture of where you want to go, what you want to achieve, what you want to, you know, make progress on, and all of that. And once you have to identify those things, let them work for you. Let them work for you, and make sure that you invest in yourself enough so that you can sharpen that part of your life, right? Sharpen that part of my life. I mean, part of your life. Right now, I mean, I can stand in front of multitudes and just speak and just deliver amazing speeches, amazing talks, because I have put in the work, right? I have put in the work. So that's my view. I don't know what you have in mind. I don't know what you're thinking right now, but what I believe is that you need to stand and make things happen for yourself. You need to ask yourself exactly, like, who am I? What do I want? What makes me tick? What makes me want to keep pushing? Huh? What is it? Hmm? What is it? So those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. I see Mr. Mavusana. Yeah! Mavusana vo on Facebook. Oring man. Bona. Motho wa ka wa super. Guys, Mavusana is super awesome. Super awesome. You all should check out his TikTok. Actually, even on Facebook, he's just and Instagram as well. Malvo Sanavo. He's just super amazing. So yeah, very talented. And he, when you're a natural, he just flows. That's Malvo Sana for you. So he's a brand, basically. He's a brand. So yeah. Nevertheless, since we obviously talking about brand, you also realize that one of his core values is to make people laugh, right? That's one of his core values, to make people happy, to bring happiness into people. So what is that thing that you want to do for your audience? I'm asking you this, and I'm hoping that you will discover exactly what is that thing that you need to do for your audience. All right. I'm hoping that the kind of content that I shared today will somehow help you to think of ways to better your content, think of ways to somehow grow your content, and also see what adds value and what doesn't. Right. So now let's just finish off this. Let's finish off this conversation with the issue of niching, especially when it comes to creating content on YouTube and everything. Let's talk about this and relate it to brand's point of view, or how brand would act, how it would affect you working with brands and all of that, right? So let's say, for example, like there are brands like skin brands and all of that that are not associated with things like alcohol and all of those things. So there are certain things that you might need to think about when you post your content. This is not just posting, brand content, but posting your own content in general. Okay. So what does your Instagram say about you? What does your Facebook say about you? What does your YouTube say about you? So when you think about my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, I think the biggest thing is that I'm an inspiration, right? I'm an inspiration. I empower you to be the best you, right? So that is something that I can take from it, or that you can also probably see. I hope you do. If you don't, please share with me so that I can make sure next time that you actually are aware of the kind of content that I create, right? So you need to ask yourself this: if you intend to be an influencer, yes, a content creator, and if you intend to work and collaborate with brands in future, you need to ask yourself questions like, is the kind of content that I'm creating right now aligning with what I want to do, right? And I'm not gonna say this. I actually got actually. I'm not gonna say it. Let me not say it's too early to say it, but um, let me just say this: that it's so important to create content that aligns to where you want to go. It's so important to create content that aligns to the type of audience you want. There has to be an alignment, guys. There has to be an alignment. Things have to align. You know that song, hamba ngolaini, hamba ngolaini, hamba ngolaini, hamba ngolaini. So isn't Omeles hamba ngolaini? Things have to be aligned. It's a make a line, right? So it's so much easier when you somehow have a structure, you know and A structure is not something that will happen by day. Can we, ladies and gentlemen, can we just talk about that? A structure or something, or a strategy or brand strategy or brand story that you're trying to create or make people aware of, it won't happen by day where people are going to see and understand who you are, what you're about, what you do. It's not always that they'll see immediately, right? Especially if you're someone who is like me, who is still, you know, very small in terms of a following, in terms of engagement and everything. I'm still growing, like I still have a long way to go. So if you are someone like myself who has about, less than 4K followers on Instagram, less than 30,000 here on YouTube, you have to think of how you need to work extra hard and to make sure that you keep grinding and grinding so that the right audience can actually come and see you. Hey, it's a lot. Hey, it's a lot, guys. Yo, hey, it's a lot. In actual fact, I think I should somehow use what Mavosana services, guys. You can actually use Mavosana for your brand. Not use, but you can actually use his services if you want to market and everything. You can use him. He helps you out. He can tell you all about it. So now all I'm saying is that make sure that your content aligns. And as much as I was watching this other YouTubers today, they were talking about the myths about influencers, influencer marketing, the myths around it, right? About being an influencer. Apparently, some of the myths is that influencers get a lot of money. Influencers like never run out of jobs. Influencers never say no to campaigns and all of that, right? So, something that they mentioned is that obviously, let me just answer this. Influences, the campaigns are different, right? There is micro influencers, those that fall into the nano influencers. So it's a little bit different. The categories are different. So for as long as you are at a specific influencer level, you might be qualifying for a specific type of package as opposed to a bigger package, and right. So I think I'm on the nano influencer. Okay, nano influ. I hope I spelled it right. Yeah, so I'm actually right. So there's a difference, right? Okay. I'm trying to get that. Nano and micro influencer. And micro influencer difference, right? So I want to give you the difference so that you get a clear understanding of it. So I was actually right. So I am on the nano influencer, right? So the micro, my goodness, why? Okay, what is nano, right? The nano, no. You see, Google, what are you doing to me? Okay, so a nano influencer obviously is a small influencer from, that's a smaller one. It's actually me, guys. Let me just make an example with me. I'm currently on 3 point something followers on Instagram. So I'm on nano. So micro, we speaking now, bona, body 100K and all of that. So I'll summarize it in that way, basically that. So basically what I'm saying is that it's possible that you can get big gigs, but if you fall in a certain category, that will determine how much you qualify. But I also believe that something about influencer marketing, it also goes with what you can offer and what you can negotiate with the brand and all of that, and the scope of your work as well. So I don't think that just because you are a macro or a nano influencer, you are restricted to just be on a specific payment or payroll or whatever, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So I believe that if you believe that you can offer more, you actually can. You can offer more, you can, deliver better. And if you can do that, you know, and that's why also we need to understand that something about influencer marketing, as much as we focus a lot on likes, I mean, followers are important, you guys. Followers are important. Yes, they are important. Followers are very important, but at the same time, engagement is the biggest thing. What are your analytics saying? What are they saying? Are your audience engaging on your content? Are they? So those are the things that you need to ask yourself. Those are the things that you need to ask yourself. So um, this might be a bit of deep information that might bore you a little bit because you feel like, okay, what is all of that? Can I worry about that later or whatever the case may be? So, okay, I'll just pause it there and just say to you that you need to do your work. You need to do your research if you intend to build a brand that will be recognized by other brands, that will, you know, somehow work with you and pay you for the work that you do, right? So if you want to be paid for the work that you do, you got to make sure that you position yourself with the right type of brand, the best way possible. And you create content, guys, create content that speaks, can I tell you my biggest let's see, good vibes watching you. It's Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. Good to see you. Thank you. So let me tell you, and I'm wrapping it up, okay? I'm wrapping it up in the next 3 minutes. Let me tell you what I'm working on. I have good quality content, right? I am working on the quality of my visuals. Oh God, you know how much I want my content to be beautiful, to be clear, to be the quality to be perfect, closer to perfect. There's nothing as perfect, but closer to that. God knows how much I want to do that, and I am investing in that. I am doing the best that I can to do that. When I take pictures and everything, I no longer just take and just post and say, okay, I think I listen, I capture and look and ask myself, is this what I'm going to post? I do that, double check all of those things. It's important. Unfortunately, it's one of the things that also can serve as an advantage to working with brands. Exactly that. Hey Queen, how you doing? Good to see you. Awesome. Sibu saying still here listening. Oh, thank you so much, Sibu. I'm glad that you've been listening. And I'm hoping that, but if you're listening, it means that you've been taking notes. So thank you. I appreciate that. Thumbs up, done, and shit. You rock, Queen. I appreciate you. Thank you so, so much. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love so much, right? So that's basically that, guys. If you really want to improve, if you really want to elevate, it's so important to understand the quality of the work. I'm good. Thank you, sis. I'm glad that you're great, sis. I'm happy. I've missed you guys. Like I feel like I haven't been engaging for a while, but I've been catching up and yeah, I'm loving that. I'm back. I'm back. The business is, getting a little bit better. Listening to you from the kitchen. What's cooking in the kitchen? Cooking in the kitchen. What are you cooking in the kitchen? Huh? Guys, please share this live streams on your community tabs. Ah, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Guys, also, if you haven't subscribed to Miriam's channel, Homemade by Cebu, and of course, we've got the African Diaspora Unity. Listen, just subscribe. Just subscribe. I'm telling you to just subscribe because I know that these are my people. They're amazing. They create dope content. So you won't have regrets. You won't feel like you have made a mistake whatsoever. Okay? Because they rock like that. They rock like that. All right. I'm making French fries and eggs. Please save me a plate because that sounds yummy. That sounds yummy. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, guys. So I think we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. Let's check if we have any comments on Facebook. No comments on Facebook. No comments. Okay, we see people reacting. We see people reacting on the video. Okay, the reaction is good. Reaction is good. Liking the video. It also shows that you are actually taking something out of it, right? So liking it means that okay, you're probably liking the conversation. So I appreciate that as well. So how do we wrap up this topic? Because I feel like it was a little bit too deep, right? But if you're willing to learn, you won't find any deepness of it. So let's recap, right? Should we recap? Should we recap? Okay, so before we recap, let's close the part on what you as a content creator wanting to work with brands. So my advice would be keep creating content the best way possible and do not be afraid to actually create content for free. Now, like as I was saying earlier today, I was watching one of the YouTubers. They were actually doing like a collaboration. They were talking about influencer myths, about influencer and every influencer marketing and all of that. So one of the things that they said was creating content for free. I have I agree and partially agree. I agree partially actually. What am I saying? And here's why. Sometimes creating content for free somehow opens a gate to getting paid campaigns, right? Or paid content or whatever. Yeah, brand content. So I personally have done what? Call it a campaign or just marketing a brand that I like, that is doing amazing just for the sake of doing it, and mainly because I like it and I'm happy with it and all of that, right? So, as much as at some point you will need to stop on that, on creating content for free and all of that, not getting any benefit from it because you're obviously marketing this brand and they're not recognizing you or your work and everything. I want you to understand this. Please understand this, that sometimes you will need to actually create it for free. And also creating it for free, remember that alignment, remember that positioning. positioning yourself with the kind of brands that you want, you will start creating content. And that content is not actually one-sided. So, because you might feel like, I'm actually creating content for this brand. They're not gonna pay me. They're not gonna give me money, whatever, right? But also, what you don't realize is that that content will help you to actually get an idea or an indication of what your audience think. Are they engaged into that particular brand or that style of branding or that, that kind of category? Are they responding well to it? Are they seeing value out of it? And how do you keep them engaged on such content? Because it's like you're running a test. You're running a test so that when a brand decides to trust you, excuse me, sorry, to trust you with a bigger brand, to trust you with their brand, not with a bigger brand, with their brand, to officially say, okay, we're giving you a contract. This is the kind of content we want you to create for us, blah, blah, blah. So are you saying that you are not going to in any way try to curate content so that you can also do like that, call it a survey, call it a test, call it testing waters, just to get an idea of what your people want? Maybe, yeah, maybe that. Call it that. So I honestly have done a couple of free brand engagements and everything. I've done them for free for quite a while, and I'm not regretting, because I also believe that the kind of opportunities that open for me, the kind of opportunities of working with, whether it was just one or two brands, is still fine. Oksalayo, I was able to work with a brand. I have experience on how like how brands kind of approach you and everything. I have I can't say an entire experience, because it's just a few that I've worked with, but that eye opening, that eye opener rather, of understanding how things work, how things are done on the other side, it's there. And of course, I was able to do modules that were able to help me to understand the relationship between what creators and brands. Because remember that we are creators, and then we've got what? Brands that come to us as creators. So I can go on and on, real fam. I can go on and on, but I'm hoping that whatever that I just shared will add value in you finding that niche, in you discovering or understanding the core values of your personal brand, because that's why we started this conversation in the first place. The core values of understanding the core values of your personal brand. Personal. Let it sink in. Personal. It's your personal brand. It's personal. So you got to make sure that you make it the best. You put in the work. You become as real as possible. You sell yourself the best way possible, because if you don't, can you hear that silence? If you don't, no one will. No one will. We are a work in progress. We keep trying our best. So keep trying your best and invest in yourself. Invest in tools that will help you to enhance your knowledge, that will help you to level up. Right now, I just want to pray to God and say, God, please give me a new camera. God, give me a new camera, including a vlogging camera. Please, God. Please, God. That's what I want to pray for right now because I feel like I need a good camera, front camera, right? Great camera that will take nice pictures of me and everything else that I do, right? So that's what I want. That's what I feel I need to get. But having said that, also it takes me back to what do I have? And Sibu is laughing at me. Sibu, you must don't. Sibu, this is a moment where you have to say in Jesus' name, it's happening. Amen. Okay? In Jesus' name, amen. You see, Miriam understands the understands the what the assignment that I am asking for right now. Which camera says let me tell you. So the only camera that I've been exposed to is Canon. So I don't know at this point, apart from Canon, which one is the best. I've seen a couple of Sonys that are actually dope and great. So at this point, you know what? And that's a good question because when I pray to God, I need to even speak about the model. God, please. Sony X, what? MacBook, God. Even an iPhone latest, God, please. So I'm not sure. I've been exposed to Canon, and the one that I have is pretty old, so it kind of makes me think twice about Canon, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure at this point. Yeah, but I'll do my research. I'll put in the work. I'll put in the work. Um, so I'm on that boat, but we thank God for prayers in Jesus' name. Amen. God says, pray and you shall receive. We gotta pray for what we want. Yo, listen. I'm being specific. I'm done just praying. I'm gonna pray and be specific. Mm, I'm gonna have to do my research, Queen. You see now, you are giving me homework. I'm gonna go and do my work and see exactly which one I want. Because the one that I have, child, is actually quite old. So yeah, it's quite old. It's quite old. Hello, Black Tropical Homestead. How y'all doing? Blessings to you too. Thank you so much. Which model are you using now, and which one are you looking for? So I'm currently using the EOS 1200D. That's the one that I'm using right now. It's pretty old. It's just it's an old camera. It does the work, but I feel like in terms of focusing and all of that, it's you know how the influences would put that and then it would just focus and so like yeah, I'm still trying to find that best one. Guys, do check out Black Tropical Homestead. Check them out. They doing amazing on their channel, okay? And guys, with that said, I'm gonna have to say good night. Goodbye, bye, 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 bye. Hey. Goodbye, bye, bye. Hello, Masejo. Only seeing Masejo's comment right now on Facebook. Hello, Masejo. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. And of course, guys, this is me saying to you, continue to, oh, okay. We are great, soul sister. Great to catch you live here. Your beautiful voice. Thank you so much. So you're the second person to say I have a beautiful voice. Actually, earlier Pindi said she loves my voice. So thank you. I appreciate it. God is listening and at work, honey. I totally agree and I receive. I declare that I will have a new camera, the vlogging and the sit down. I will have a new iPhone, the latest. I will have a Mac. I will have it all. I would have it all. And with that said, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you. Remember to like this video, comment, share it if you can. And yeah, remember to make today count. I'm out of here. See you soon and love you lots. Mwah.